Alright, this is the first time I've been down here in the last week or so due to Debbie, whether that was a tropical storm or something that moved through. So about 2 weeks ago I cleaned out this barrel, and the lowest I can get it is maybe 2 gallons or so, but you can see it's got about 12 gallons worth of water in there, rainwater. This was all pretty well flooded, which isn't anything unusual. And then over here, some of this stored equipment, the water, just because of how the ground slopes here, it was up to the bottom of the pallets. In fact, you can see the corner of that pallet's still a little damp, but I don't think the woodenware sat in water for any extended period of time, or even at all, really. I've said this a few times, the bee yard it drains quite well. There may have been some standing water and everything, but for the most part it actually does pretty well. And with the hives on the stand here, nothing to worry about. And in the last video, this was something I was talking about. I just bought the severe weather furring strips. Each 4x4 is 8 foot long. The furring strip's 8 foot long. Very easy install. Did not secure them down. Figured the weight of the hive would be just fine, and it looks like that did the trick to cant all the hives forward a little. Because what I noticed over the past few inspections is more so the hives down on this side of the yard, they were just kicked back enough to where rainwater was coming in, and it was really sitting on the bottom boards, on the back side of the bottom board. And I mean, it was nasty. Speaking of nasty, I don't know if this is going to come up on video. I'll show you here in a second, but the mosquitoes are terrible. So just a quick walk out to the yard, show y'all how everything's looking over the last 2 weeks. I'm just going to get everything set up, get the smoker going. Quick introduction, and then we'll get started for mid-April on this side of the yard. All right, just finished up draining the barrel, and that's what I'm talking about. So it probably has maybe 2 gallons of water in the bottom, which is totally fine. But still trying to figure out a way to basically just seal this up a little better. I thought maybe the pool noodle would create a little bit of a seal for the rainwater, but as y'all previously saw, guess not. But that's fine. It's just a matter of hooking power up to it, flipping the ball valve, opening up the hose, of course, and then I just drain it over here. All right, let's get the smoker lit. Quick introduction and get into the rest of the bees for August. All right, hey, welcome back everybody. Real quick intro as promised. So here it is, August 18th. It's about 10:30. Temperature is 84 degrees, humidity is 74%, the heat index is about 93. It's honestly not that bad right now because we have a lot of shade currently. And the fact that I only have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hives, it should be a pretty nice day. So if you didn't catch the last inspection, I think that was around August 4th, so it's already been about 2 weeks. Ton of weather came through. Tropical depression or storm Debbie dropped maybe 20 inches of rain. The bee yard drains well. I showed y'all that in the B-roll as I'm walking out here with the mixing barrel, which captures a lot of water and it's easy to drain, which isn't a big deal. So I finished with number 5 last time, and if you didn't watch the previous video, that's kind of the intro, the B-roll to that video. The hives were just extra hot, extra spicy last time, and I think that has a lot to do with the weather and the fact that we're going through somewhat of a dearth. So with all that said, as I drop my notes, yeah, so my focus is on the last 6, which is 15, 6, 3, 7, number 9 over here, and then 10. And then really just taking a look at them, same thing, checking the food stores. I am curious about number 7, I think. That was the one that I had several, if not all, shallow frames in that medium box. And again, feeding them from June 10th I believe is the day. Feeding them back then, and a week later, they filled that thing out and built enough comb in the space available to where I couldn't really, well, I pried the box apart just to show y'all, but I haven't messed with it since. So number 7, if my memory serves me right, I have not looked inside this hive, and I hate saying that, in about 2 months. So we shall see. And then this evening, I probably won't record it just because it's the same old, but with the weather today and then into the next few weeks looking pretty favorable, I'm gonna get out here and start my oxalic acid treatment, which is four treatments, 5 days apart, so over the next 3 weeks or so. That was my plan originally for the entire month of August, but again, started in the early part of the month, right around the 1st, got 1 treatment in, and then we had just 2 weeks of weather to where I could not get out here and treat. So let's do a quick drive by. So these hives down here, they are not going to be touched today. And again, if you didn't see that previous video, you'll kind of understand why. Not to mention they're doing fine. They were all queen right from what I can determine. So the focus is on these hives right here, moving down this way. So that's it for now. Let's get into them and see how they're doing for mid-August. All right, here we go. First look at 15. Very curious to see how and if the bee's demeanor is different given the change in the weather. So I really hope today goes a lot different than the previous inspection. So I'm gonna, same things, right? Keep an eye out for the queen. For whatever reason, this hive has 9 frames. Not really sure why. Can't really remember at this point, but yeah, I'm just gonna pull a few frames. They look like they have some pretty nice food stores. If I find eggs, I'm gonna say they're queen right and move on to the next one. Try to keep it pretty simple today. Just a quick look at the second frame. Pretty nice food store. And then same thing on the side of the frame that faces the outside of the box on the next one. It's nice to see that they still have nice food stores for this time of year. All right, last frame in the top box. No brood, all food, all good. Which means I really should get into the bottom box just to give a decent assessment if they're queen right. So we put this back together and that's what we're about to do next. All right, third frame in the deep box. I need to get a better look. We have cap brood and we have eggs. So they are queen right. They're starting to become a little agitated. So all the more reason to put them back together, and that's it. So that's all I'm doing today. Just really checking to see if they're queen right. As soon as I find some evidence in the form of eggs, if I don't find the queen herself, boxing them up. So that's it for this one. All right, down here at 5, the bees from the previous hive are still agitated. So again, quick look. As soon as I'm able to determine they're queen right, that's it. Which would be nice at this point to find a queen on the bottom part of an inner lid. Quick first look like usual. Nice amount of bees. Looks like they got some pretty good food stores over here. Not so much on this side, but yeah, pull a few frames, look for eggs, call it a day. Just a quick look of the inside of frame number 3. And even though it didn't look like it from the top, they actually have pretty decent food stores. Oh. This frame has seen better days. Actually, I remember this frame. That one's completely falling apart. So let's go to frame, what's this, 2, 3, 4, number 5, right in the middle. How they're looking. Okay. We got some brood up here. which is fantastic. Kind of wasn't expecting to see that. And we have eggs. Eggs, eggs, and eggs. Yeah, she's been busy. Let's see on this side. Not as many as you would expect to see around some of the capped brood. But yeah, sure enough on this side, they have eggs. Okay, that's good for this one. All right, down here at number 3. About halfway done for the day, which is nice. Not as many bees in the top box as the other hives. Well, at least from first appearance. Yeah, they're actually, I don't remember what the deal is with this one. I may have given them this box around the time that I fed the rest, but it really doesn't look like they're doing much with it. But pull a few frames, probably get into the bottom box, just judging by how the top box looks, and as long as they're queen right, I'm happy. And then considering what I'm looking at here and a few other ones, it's probably a good time to feed again, just to give them some supplemental food so they can draw out some frames with new foundation like this one. Yeah, just pulled a frame or two. There's nothing going on, so I just popped the top box off. About to get into the bottom. Decent amount of bees down here. That's nice to see. Just not really working the top box that much. Probably just because there's not a lot of nectar coming in right now. All right, we got eggs on the inside of frame number 4, so that's good. And I did say that's all I was really gonna check these days or this time around, but considering they're actually being pretty calm, which is a nice change, I'm just gonna take a look at a few more frames. More curious than anything to see if they still have a marked queen, considering the amount of time in between inspections. Hard to judge by the population of bees, because it seems okay in the sense that they may not have swarmed, but again, given the amount of time in between inspections, it's been enough time for them to have a few brood cycles, which could be why they have a decent population of bees. So I'm just gonna take my time. I only have 2 more frames to look at, but all my queens were marked, so she should be easy to spot. And that's a, you know, I don't know if I've said that in a while, but that's a good reason to mark your queens. One, you can tell how old they are based on the color, of course, but more so, you can, gives you another, there she is right there, you see her? Just gives you the ability to determine if they have swarmed or not. So, okay, this one's looking good. Just gonna get them put back together and move on to the monster hive where the camera is sitting on. Very curious to see what I can find in the next hive. Right, down here at number 7, this is a double deep with a medium on top, and if my memory serves me right, it's either this one or the next one. This medium box, oh my goodness, has shallow frames, which, you know, should make for a really good time. This is all dependent. Holy smokes, if I can get them open. Yeah, I'll show you that here in a second. So we have some wood damage, but yeah, check this out. The inner cover, that's the wood damage I was talking about, is completely stuck to the top cover. Alright, let me figure this out and I'll show you whatever I find here in a second. Talk about propolis. So yeah, that's part of the inner cover. Look at that propolis. I just pried this apart without causing too much damage, but holy smokes, they had that thing, I mean, just glued together. So that's what 2 months, of propolis buildup looks like. All right. If I remember right, again, this is based off of a while ago, this hive was bearding very heavily in the evening. So I gave him an extra box, and I might just leave it on there since I plan on feeding this week. It doesn't look like they're doing too much with this box. Maybe just a little right here, but it has helped with bearding, so it's not a complete waste of space. But yeah, definitely curious to see what this hive looks like. Yeah, not a whole lot going on in the top box. I pulled a frame or two just because when I popped the box up, it looked like they had some bees in there, which they do. They're just not really doing much. Now, this box, on the other hand, holy smokes. I don't plan on scraping a whole lot just because, you know, they took so much time to build it up. But this box looks like it is darn near full. This might be the third super, the third medium box. I might go through the other ones that I remember that had a full medium. I mean, that's 3 full mediums right now, and they're gonna need the space come the fall flow, so TBD, might harvest, might not. Really just want to see if they're queen right at this point. Holy smokes, this is the very first frame, and check out the next frame. And in fact, this might be the box that has all shallow frames. So we'll see. I'm not trying to make a mess, but let's pull this next frame, and if it has a lot of comb built up on the bottom, I'm pretty sure this is that box I was referring to earlier. Yeah, it looks like it, but man, that is full. So I'm probably just going to jump straight into the bottom box, considering what this is looking like. And again, I'm really not trying to make that kind of mess today, but I do need to think of something as far as what to do with that box. So all TBD right now. All right, I can't even do this to show y'all. I just pried half of this side up, half of this side up, and this is the box with all shallow frames, and they've sealed it down pretty well. So I'm not even gonna mess with that today because I can't get it apart, and I really don't feel like creating that kind of mess. So lesson learned: 1 or 2 shallow frames, okay. A full 10, well, a full medium box with shallow frames, man. One, it is heavy, and that stuff is sealed, and that is a problem for another day. So TBD right now whether or not they're queen right, but they definitely have enough food. But again, very important to see if they're queen right, so I might just figure something out for later this week sometime. All right, second to last, this is the original number 9, combined number 8 with it probably about a month ago, and kept one of the supers. I don't remember which one, and there's the other one, I think. So given the amount of time, the queen should have used or been able to use all this extra space. So that's what I'm more and most curious about, whether or not the queen has moved up. Obviously see how that looks, and then if they have enough eggs in the right stage, maybe make a kind of split. I was gonna say walkaway split, but I want to find the queen. If I can keep her number 9 and make a split with number 8, I don't know, TBD, just kind of thinking out loud at this point. But yeah, let's get into them, see how they're looking. Curious to see where I find brood, but I'll show you all that, of course. All right, just finished going through the top box. I mean, they have bees up there kind of just hanging out. They're not really doing too much. Top deep looks semi-decent. A lot of concentration right here, which is a good thing. Feeder's been dry for quite a while, so yeah. I'm expecting to find some cap brood and some nice frames up here, but you never know until you look. So again, let's see how this one's looking. All right, the part of frame number 5 that faces the outside, so you would think that doesn't really have much going on, but in fact it has a nice concentration of eggs. and that is the portion of the top box I initially pointed out that I said had a nice concentration of bees. So that kind of makes sense. The bulk of the bees, oh, hey, check that out. There's the queen right there. So that's pretty cool to see. All right, no doubt if they are queen right, get them put back together, and that's it for this one. Down here at number 10. Last one for the day. Last hive to look at for August. So far today's been good. No concerns, which is just nice. The bees seem to be a little more calm, some of them at least, than the previous inspection about 2 weeks ago. But if I didn't say it then, the weather wasn't really the best, and I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Give y'all a quick first look. If my memory serves me right, I think I mixed and matched some medium frames to give this hive a boost in food, but that was probably, well, shoot, maybe close to a month ago, really. The outside frames don't really seem to have much going on, which is semi-normal, but I really just want to take a closer look at the frame, probably in the 6th or 7th position. Well, you know, as I say that, and this kind of caught me off guard from another hive, I actually have some decent food. Okay, show you anything interesting if I come across it. All right, one last first look for this time around. Decent concentration of bees, but you never know. So pull the feeder, give myself some space, and they're queen right. It's a pretty successful time in the bee yard this week. We have some eggs on the bottom of number 4 here, otherwise frame number 4. Otherwise they've been pretty heavy on the food and the pollen and bee bread, which is good. I just want to take a look at one more frame, just because even though they have some eggs and some small larvae, just not satisfied with how it looked. So I just want to see if there's the following frame or two just have a better amount of eggs or larvae. And it is really hard to tell in this part of the yard just because how the sun is hitting. Yeah, okay. That looks a lot better. A lot more eggs on that frame, which is kind of normal. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're queen right, so I'm satisfied. All right, that does it for me. It's just about 12 o'clock. Quick recap. So started with 15 and moved my way down for all the hives I was not able to finish about 2 weeks ago. They're looking just fine. Enough signs that they're queen right if I didn't find the queen themselves. The only reason that colony number 7 has a brick on top is just to serve as a reminder. That's the one with it's the second medium, the one in the middle that has nothing but shallow frames, and it is completely sealed down. So I haven't been into that brood chamber in 2 months now, which is incredible, but it seems like they're doing okay. And then I just popped the top on a few of these down here, the ones with the bricks on top, well, the deep and the mediums. Did a quick check, and based on the amount of bees in the top box and what I could see in the medium boxes, it looks like these are the hives that have full supers as well. So considering the fall flow is coming, I might pull these supers off, extract them, or just move some of the frames, maybe 3 or 4 frames, to the other supers that don't have as much food. But I took a few days off of work, which is this next week, starting tomorrow through next weekend. So I have plenty of time to play catch up in the bee yard, and that's one of the things I plan on doing. Number 18, I'm not 100% sure. Actually, it was snap. Well, that's not good. Okay, I was about to shoot. I didn't even notice that when I came out here. I was about to get out of here and wrap things up, but you know what? Let's pop the top on number 18 here in a second and figure out what's going on with that. I've never seen that before. That many dead bees on the entrance, and there's not a pile on the ground, so it doesn't look like poison or anything, but maybe they got robbed out. I marked them with a brick, and right now I can't remember what that is. Possibly queen, possibly a new queen or queenless, I'm not sure. That would have been on my agenda to look at today, but okay. Let's pop the top on this one and figure out what's going on. Well, unfortunately, I think I know what I'm about to find, so just keep the camera rolling. And probably show you some unfortunate news here. As soon as I pop the lid, yep, sure enough, and with that smell, damn. Well, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to look back on the previous video to see what they had going on. Perhaps something with the rain, but yeah, sure enough, that's what I was gonna say. It stinks too. Man. All right, let me try and salvage what I can, which luckily looks like the majority of the frames. There's not a lot of wax moth damage, if any, just yet. I think I caught them just in time. But the bottom board, yeah, sure enough, check that out. Another loss. And that is just gross. All right, let me clean this up, and I'm gonna bring this to the backyard. That gets quite a few hours of direct, intense sun. And in fact, as I say that, I think I'm gonna grab that other medium and deep down there just to give them a real chance to dry out over the next few days, and then figure out what to do during the week.